Okay, so I just finished Silent Hill. I have to say, it was a great game. I mean, it was 10 out of 10. The storytelling was great. The game looked great. I mean, it was just so fun. And honestly, the story, it resonated with me a lot, right? So, whenever I was 13, my father died, and obviously it's a tough thing, but I didn't take it out in the form of sadness. I was angry. Now, I was angry at my mother. I was angry at other people in my life, my friends, girlfriends, things like that. Obviously, I wasn't having girlfriends at 13, but, as I got older, this anger would just leach its way back in. And, I'd always sit here and wonder why I was so angry. And it was because I never faced it. I never dealt with it. I always just ran, you know? And that's kind of what Silent Hill was in a way, right? Obviously, don't watch this if you haven't played Silent Hill, but we know that James killed his wife, right? Mary was terminally ill with some odd disease, ate her body away. And James was just so sexually frustrated, physically frustrated, emotionally frustrated with everything. And he decided to just cut the plug, smother her to death. I mean, right, obviously, I hope none of us are doing that. But we can all relate to James in a way of guilt, right? Just as he faced guilt with that, I faced guilt with my own issues, with your own issues. And the whole journey of Silent Hill was just a beautiful display of how he progressed through that guilt. It's just like so many small things, right when we entered the game, he's looking at his hands, it's like, what has he just done? Like, he doesn't even know, the whole letter, if we keep looking at the letter, it'll eventually disappear. Whenever he's talking throughout the game and the dialogue with especially Maria, we start to find out that Maria wants to be so much like Mary, or Maria can be anything that James needs her to be. And we can just find odd things like that, it makes us think like, what's really going on here? Obviously, we know that Mary died of that damn disease, but, is this really how she died? And then, obviously, we figure out not that long after. But the thing is that James, depending on the ending you got, he got the good ending, right? He escaped Silent Hill, and he accepted his guilt, and he didn't let it consume him. He didn't let Silent Hill consume him. Now, we look at a character like Eddie, right? We kind of first meet him, he's throwing up, he's puking, things like that. We obviously know, like, pretty overweight kind of guy. And then we see him a couple more times, he's eating a lot, things like that. And then we see that he killed a guy. And it's odd because we know that nothing is real in this game, but James can see Eddie's, visions, I guess. I mean, that just shows that James really hates himself. But anyways, Eddie was just falling apart. I mean, he was just killing these people left and right. And then we finally get that final boss scene, and that's when Silent Hill has consumed him, and he died. We killed him. And then we also have Angela as well. And, she was consumed with the abuse of her father and her brother, abusing her, which obviously, right, I haven't experienced anything like that. And, eventually she couldn't come to grips with it, and then she walked up that fire, obviously to find some way to kill herself, if I can speak. But anyways, James was the only one that got that ending of walking out of Silent Hill. And I mean, we can be like any one of those characters in those games, right? I went through something traumatic at a young age, something that people won't go through until they're 40, right? For a while, I let that consume me. I let that bottle up. I let the anger rage out onto everyone else, and to be honest, I didn't get help. I mean, I guess that's no fault of my own. I was so young, but I didn't really get counseling. I didn't get stuff like that. I had to grow up fast, and I had to learn how to deal with it. And there's multiple ways you can deal with it, but the way James did is that he almost faced it directly. Or he did face it directly in a way. I mean, those monsters, each one of those were disguised of his own vices, right? The nurses, his sexual vices, and then the pyramid head was honestly just, it was a whole representation of him and his anger as a whole. And I mean, obviously we're not going to be fighting monsters, but we need to face them head on, just like James did. And if we can't defeat and kill those monsters, those demons that are chasing us, then we're never gonna be free. We're never gonna escape Silent Hill. We're always gonna be stuck there until it consumes us, and we're just dead, right? I mean, maybe we're not dead physically, but I mean, we're drained. We're not the same person we used to be. So anyways, all I wanted to say is that you can either go through Silent Hill and let it consume you, or you go through Silent Hill and get through the other side.